The bank and its role.
Look what happened to me. I forgot the money in my pocket and my mother washed and ironed it. Can you give me other money, because you have more?
If a banknote is damaged, you can exchange it at any time at the national bank, without paying anything.
What is a bank?
An institution that deals with the country's money. Each country has its national bank.
This banknote is torn.
Banknotes can be exchanged even if they are torn. But it must have 60% of its entire surface and one of the series can be read in its entirety. Learn to be careful with money. They can be easily destroyed.
I thought they were made of plastic.
That's right, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be careful with them. Did you know how money is made? After the design is designed, the sheets are manufactured. All sheets have safety thread and transparent window. Then the design of the banknotes is printed. At the end, the series are printed which are unique for each banknote. Banknotes are cut from the sheet because at the end, they are counted, packed and sent to the national bank. Coins are issued by the national bank.
So a bank is a place where you can keep your money safe.
The first step is to open a checking account. In the account you can deposit the money you have collected, especially if it is a lot. Otherwise it would take up too much space, and take it out whenever you need it. When you open a bank account, you also receive a card that you can use to pay with virtual money or withdraw cash from the ATM. The bank account helps you better track and manage the money you have, grow it somewhat, with the help of interest, and keep it safe.
Cash money, virtual money. What is this?
The pennies you have spent so far at the store are called cash. This money has physical form, meaning you can see it, touch it, and hold it in your wallet. When you deposit your frozen money into your bank account, it becomes virtual money. They can be sent anywhere in the world. This way you can buy things from very distant sellers.
Is that why you were looking to withdraw money from the ATM yesterday? But what if we can't get them out?
We can get them from any other bank. All ATMs from which we can withdraw money belong to other banks called commercial banks, where we can deposit or withdraw money. The national bank guides them and makes sure they follow the rules.
Is that so? But why doesn't it print a lot of money? To be for everyone.
That's how things go. Money can't be printed that much. If too many are printed, their value will decrease. When everyone has a lot of money, prices go up and you can't buy much with that money. That's inflation.
I heard this word on TV. Wait, I don't understand. If you print too much money, it's bad. If you don't, you print enough, what happens? And after all, who knows how much money needs to be printed?
Well, you see another reason why the national bank is needed. He makes sure that there is exactly as much money in circulation as is necessary. In fact, it can ensure that prices remain stable, but it takes a lot of work. You don't get to know what's going on here. We also need to pay close attention to what is happening in other countries. From there they bring many things that we buy here. If prices change there, they will change here. That is why the national bank contacts the national banks of other countries, to know all the time what is happening in the world and to be able to intervene here. All these interventions are called monetary policy.
Politics. How complicated. This is for big people.
It may seem complicated, but it's good for you to know, things are not just for animals.
Grandpa, I'm thinking about what you told me, how prices are kept in balance by the national bank, which prints money when needed. But if too many goods come from other countries at once, how can the national bank print so much money on the spot? And if that money is no longer needed, how would you raise it back?
There is no need for such a thing. It would be too complicated. In reality, most money does not physically exist in the form of bills or coins. They're just numbers in the bank's computers. That way it's much easier to just do some numbers in the calculator.
I thought there was only so much money as it was printed. And how do we know how much money there is?
What do you think money is?
Well, with money we can buy things.
Maybe you could buy things today in exchange for other things. That's how it was done a long time ago. It was called barter, but how complicated it would be to get along like that, because not all things have the same value. Money is actually a deal, a convention. At some point, people realized that it is much easier to agree on the value of things. if it accepts a unit of measure. Money is this unit of value, just as we have the meter to measure length or the kilogram to measure weight. And the national bank ensures that this unit of measure remains at a stable value.
But the meter and the kilogram don't exist in reality.
Money in bank computers can be used without physically existing. It is called electronic money, and only banks can work with this money. For example, we have cards. We go to the ATM and use the card to turn electronic money into pocket money, i.e. cash.
But it is easier to pay with the card directly using electronic money instead of banknotes or coins.
The card gives us direct access to our bank account.
But I saw that you pay with the phone, not with the card.
There are more and more ways to use electronic money.
Okay, but now we're going to the fair in the center and we can't use a card or phone there.
Cash is used less and less. There are places where it's easier to use cash, like the fair in the center or the market, or maybe at a cabin on top of the mountain. So I always have some money with me.
Grandpa, is it possible to borrow money?
It is normal to borrow money from a bank. Borrowed money is called credit. Credit allows you to spend money now but pay later. Sounds good, not, but there is something more exciting. Banks want to make a profit on the loans they give them. So they charge an interest. Interest is the extra money you have to give to the bank when you repay the loan. So, it costs money to borrow money.
How can I spend some money in order to multiply it?
To invest. Investing is the act of spending some money with the goal of multiplying it over time. There are many ways to invest money, and some are riskier than others. In general, the riskier an investment is, the more money it will multiply. For that, you have to be prepared to take the loss. A rule of thumb is to only invest money you can afford to lose. One way to invest your money is to buy certain things that can increase in value over time and that you can sell later for a higher amount. Adults, for example, buy houses and apartments. You can buy toys or other collectibles. Another way to invest is to buy stocks on the stock market. Basically, it means paying to own a small piece of that company. When the company expands, grows and produces more, your shares will also be worth more. Another type of investment can be made at the bank, which gives you a certain interest for the money you deposit. This type of investment brings very low returns, even in the long term, precisely because it is very safe. The bank is obliged to give you that interest, so basically you have no risk.
How captivating the good. It's a good idea not to spend all the money you get so you can invest in things of value.
I'm glad you want to meet.